Hi friends, it is time. Today we are doing the multiplication table lesson 28, and you are going to need your multiplication table. It is really a handy resource. I have one right here. Eventually you want to get that all in your brain because you will use this a lot through your life. But let's begin and talk a little bit about multiplication. First off, I'm going to scroll up down here. First off, we need to talk about the multiplication table. The multiplication table is a tool to find multiplication answers to multiplication problems. And if you cannot fit the multiplication table in that's okay. Just kind of do your best. We can use it to find answers. And the way we find answers is we can look at the numbers and say that we want to know the number. We want to know 3 times 4. We can go up to the top and see our 3, and then we go down, we see our 4. We go down this way and over this way, and the answer for this is going to show us right here that it's 12. So handy. Or we can go like this, down 3 and over 4, and look what the answer is again, 12. So very, very, very handy. When we're talking about this 3 times 4, these guys, the 3 and the 4, they are called factors, and they are each of the numbers that are multiplied. Each of the numbers that are multiplied. The other thing is factor times a factor equals a product. And I had a friend of one of my former students say, Mrs. Daw, factories make products. So since then I've always remembered it that way. So the product is the answer to a multiplication problem. Sometimes you will see on your tests, they will say, what is the product of 2 numbers? That know that they're wanting to know the answer to a multiplication problem. When we're talking about multiplication, there is a beautiful property called commutative. The commutative property of multiplication means this: that changing the order that the factors come in does not change the product. So, as our notes say, 3 times 5 equals 15 is the same as 5 times 3 equaling 15. There's another property known as the zero property of multiplication. And the zero property of multiplication states that the product, remember that's the answer, of 0 multiplied by any number is 0. So the product of any number, that means of 0 multiplied by any number, 0. Yay! Finally, our last one is the identity property of multiplication. And this states, I think of identity being our identity. We only have one identity. It's the product of 1 and any other factor is the factor. So 1 multiplied by 100 million is going to be 100 million. I love the identity property. Now, here's what I would like you to do. I would like you to pause for a moment, and I would like you to take a minute and fill out the problems using your answer sheet, okay? And then we'll come back. We are back again. Hopefully you have your number sheet or your multiplication chart and you've taken a few minutes to work through some of the problems. We will just be doing a quick correction now. So if you haven't done that, stop it right now and work on some of the answers. Our first one, 9 times 3 is 27. 3 times 9, same thing, 27. Good old commutative property of multiplication. 6 times 4 is 24. 4 times 6 is 24. 7 times 8 is 56. And we know that 8 times 7 is the same, 56. 5 times 8 is 40. And 8 times 5, still 40. 10 times 10 is 100. Mrs. Daw forgot that little thing snuck in. 10 times 8 is 80. Don't you love those 10s? They're so fun to do. 11 times 9 is 99. And 12 times 12 is 144. Now, in letter M, they want to say to use the commutative property in 12 times 11. And what that means is 12 times 11 equals, it's the same as if you said 11 times 12. And this is the commutative property. Then in letter N, they want you to know that 0 times anything, and in this situation it's 25, this equals 0, and this is the zero property. Zero property. And finally, 1 times anything equals the number that you've multiplied 1 by, and that is the property of identity. There you have it. I wish you well on the practice. I hope you have a great day.